Before we get into the meat of today's video, have you seen this?
Its term today, Mr. President.
Say it.
The Supreme Court is back and said that they rejected today an appeal by Ghislaine Maxwell to overturn her conviction. That means her only chance of getting out of prison is a pardon from you. Is that something you're...
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
You know, I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I would have to take a look. Did they reject that?
She wanted to appeal her conviction.
And what happened?
They said that they were not going to hear her appeal.
I see. Well, I'll take a look at it. I will speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it. So, but I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be a candidate for clemency, sir?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
But she was convicted of child sex trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at it. I'd have to ask DOJ. I didn't know they rejected it. I didn't know she was even asking for it, frankly.
So we went from the files are on my desk to it's all a Democrat hoax to I wish Ghislaine Maxwell well to I'll consider pardoning child sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell. If you are supporting this guy or any political parasite, you are out of your mind. Speaking of out of your mind and a broken clock who's typically right twice a day, listen to what Alex Jones says.
So Trump is open to declaring the Insurrection Act. It's 100% constitutional. We have blue cities saying we're not going to comply with federal law enforcement that have federal duties and are charged and are totally covered in what they're doing. The courts have come with all these challenges, said it's 100% legal and lawful, and actually Trump's duty, his obligation to protect, defend, and preserve the constitutional republic of America, United States of America. So yeah, declare the Insurrection Act. Hundreds of cities protecting illegal aliens and people with huge rap sheets. Having police stand down. Nick Sortor defends himself, just pushes back when he's being punched in the head, knocked to the ground. They arrest him. They beat him up again. Now they've dropped the charges. Now he's going to sue him in Portland. This is lawlessness. And there's a video in Portland.
Before we get to the video that he shows in Portland, which is just completely outrageous, I've never seen anything like it. Let's just talk about Nick Sortor. And remember, the police are not your friends. I'm talking about the local police, the state police, or the federal police. So when you're asking for the federal police to come into a city to do what the local and state police refuse to do, you know, because they were given a stand down order or whatever, you're asking the federal government to do something for you. And the federal government is saying, we're from the government. We're here to help. And we all know that when the government shows up, whether it's federal, state, or local, things go south quicker. Bad situations get worse. Innocent people get arrested and violated. This is what happened, or looks like it would happen, to Nick Sortor with the Portland Police Department. And it's what's happening all across the country with the federal police departments, namely ICE and the FBI, who are not arresting hardened criminals. They're just snatching people off the streets and out of Lowe's and Home Depot parking lots when they're just trying to make a living for their family. And if you're buying into the legal or illegal nonsense, what you're doing is believing a construct created by politicians who've declared certain human beings to be illegal. And I don't know about you, but I've never been shaken down and stolen from by an illegal. I have been shaken down and robbed by law enforcement officials, though. I've never been threatened by an illegal. I've been threatened by the government, though. And when was the last time you were extorted by an illegal? Everybody who's trying to extort me is typically a politician or a police officer. You know, the politicians and police officers who right now are trying to say, hey, we're here to keep you safe. See, the thing about the government is they don't want you robbed or violated because they hate competition. And they're in the business of eliminating their competition. So let's take a look at this arrest of Nick Sortor by our enemies from the Portland Police Department.
Now, Nick Sortor, let's bring Nick in. He's still there in Portland, Oregon. He joins me now. Nick, what was going through your mind? You speak to the Portland police for 7 to 8 minutes, and then they arrest you and put you in handcuffs.
Yeah, Kaylee, when they say they make arrests based on observed behavior, in these circumstances, I believe that observed behavior was being a conservative. Just being totally honest with you. You saw the video. There was another video that came out yesterday showing a close-up of what happened, and nobody, even my biggest detractors, cannot take that video and say I was the aggressor in the situation. Simply trying to walk down the sidewalk with my camera. I'm actually walking to my car at the time, and they jump in the way. They block me.
Actually, he wasn't just walking down the sidewalk. Now, I don't believe that he should have got arrested, or should he have? Let's leave this up for debate. Watch this. There's this guy burning an American flag. That is your constitutionally protected right. It's called freedom of speech as declared by the courts. But watch what Nick Sortor does.
Surrounding me, and I keep trying to walk around them.
That's Nick Sortor right here in the gray hoodie.
And they jump in the way. They block me. They start surrounding me, and I keep trying to walk around them, and they continue to push me. And then eventually, one of them throws a punch. So, and then 20 seconds later, I end up in a hole.
I don't know the story behind Nick Sortor grabbing this flag out of this guy's hands, but if this flag belonged to the guy who was holding and burning it, then Nick Sortor actually assaulted that guy to get the flag. Now, it could have been Nick Sortor's flag that the guy stole from Nick Sortor, and Nick was just retrieving it, in which case the Portland police have no ground to stand on in arresting him. So I don't know what the background is or the detail is with the grabbing of this flag.
And what do I do after that? I get up and I walk over to the Portland police, not to report anybody, because honestly, I didn't expect anything to be done anyway. I just walk over there for a little bit of safety. Maybe it'll calm down a little bit for a few minutes. But instead, I sit there 7 or 8 minutes, and a sergeant walks up and points to me and says to the officers, cuff him. No reason given. The officers didn't know what they were doing. But in Portland here, Kaylee,
no American should ever be arrested unless they're harming, threatening to harm, stealing property, or damaging property. Period. Unless they're in the commission of a crime, no American should be arrested. And if a local, state, or federal cop does arrest somebody, they should at least give the reason for the arrest.
At this point, the officers, your rank and file officers, do not do anything unless they are given a direct order to by one of their superiors. So somebody made the call to have me arrested. We just don't know who yet, and I think we're going to find out.
Were any of the agitators who assaulted you arrested?
Yeah, well, that is to be found out, because the agitators decide they're going to wear masks and such. So it's very hard to be able to positively identify who is who. So I don't know, but I do know that that entire night in the city of Portland, while I was in the jail, 3 people came through. 3. So in this entire major U.S. city, there were only 3 arrests total in the rest of the city that entire night. And it's weirdly coincidental, I guess, that I just happened to be one of them when I'm just on the street with a camera. I mean, there are people...
He's bemoaning the fact that there weren't more people who were incarcerated in what is known as Incarceration Nation. That's kind of weird.
With iPhones everywhere, recording everything while you're down here, and nobody has been able to produce any evidence that I was an aggressor in this situation.
What did police say to you when you're in the police car? What did they say to you then? What did they say as they were processing you?
Not much of anything, actually, Kaylee. Because
do you see this footage running in the background right here? I don't know why these guys, these militarized guys, are attacking this man, but look at this. This is kind of alarming. This is American soil here.
Police car. What did they say to you then? What did they say as they were processing you?
I want to know what that guy did wrong.
Not much of anything, actually, Kaylee, because they didn't know for an entire hour what they were charging me with. I was in the back of the squad car asking the officers, and they had no idea. They had to eventually, like, we were getting close to the jail, and they're like, well, we still don't have charges for him. So they had to pull over and wait. And then they got a phone call from their lieutenant, who told them to get out of the car. That way they could talk on the phone without me hearing the conversation. And then they came back with a disorderly conduct charge, which I don't know about you, but the videos that you've probably seen coming out of here, disorderly conduct, setting things on fire in the middle of the street, screaming in megaphones at 3 o'clock in the morning, spray painting the sides of federal buildings, assaulting officers. Is any of that disorderly conduct? Or is, just being a conservative, is that a threat to, their order out here? So that they call that disorderly? I don't know. We're trying to figure it out.
I wasn't aware that journalism was disorderly conduct. I guess now I am, Nick.
Right.
Do you plan on suing the city of Portland or the Portland Police Bureau?
Well, that's to be determined, but what, I'm not going to show my cards on that one just yet, but what I will say is I did get a phone call from Attorney General Pam Bondi yesterday, which was very nice of her to do. She was very engaged. I mean, just moments after me stepping out of that jail cell.
I got a call from a woman who is actively involved in one of the biggest pedo ring cover-ups in the history of the United States.
Promised that that she was going to order immediately a full investigation into the Portland Police Bureau.
Pam Bondi's promises are worthless. I've got the Epstein files on my desk. They're about to be released very soon.
And not just for my arrest, but the fact that they didn't bother arresting the dude or the chick, or at least what we think is a chick. You really don't know out here, Kaylee, to be totally honest with you. That beat Katie Davis Court, the post-millennial reporter, with a pole the other day. A police officer was standing right next to the person and didn't bother, prosecuting or arresting or even saying anything to the individual.
If that's true, that's bad. That's not executing justice. If somebody's beating somebody else with a pole and the cop is just standing by letting it happen, what are you there for?
Let it happen. So the DOJ, full investigation on both of those things, and I think they're going to be royally screwed when what's uncovered, not just in our cases, but in cases of people that don't have the platform or voices that we have to complain about it, if that makes sense.
Nick Sortor is so naive to think that investigation by the DOJ for any kind of injustice is going to yield anything. Here's another look at the Nick Sortor arrest by the Portland Police Department. And then I want to show you the violence executed against a woman who's just standing in front of federal officers. I'm just as against the Portland police arresting Nick Sortor as I am against the federal agents who pepper sprayed this innocent woman in the face on a street in America.
The DOJ is launching an investigation into the circumstances surrounding Sortor's arrest. There's been an increase in activity of demonstrations outside of the ICE facility after President Trump announced that he will send federal troops to the city, describing Portland as, quote, war-ravaged. Portland leaders have said they do not need the National Guard to help handle the protesters that are outside of that facility. Again, we are covering everything related to Nick Sortor's arrest, and he did post this photo saying that he was simply trying to stop someone from burning an American flag. And he says, I kept this flag and I will bring it home with me. Bill Malugin, who is with Fox News, took this photo shortly after my release from jail this morning.
So wait a minute. He was trying to stop somebody from burning an American flag? It wasn't his American flag? So if he truly took this flag out of that guy's hand, he is stealing property. The guy can do whatever he wants to with his own property, up to and including burning an American flag, which is supposed to be a protected First Amendment right, and Nick Sortor took the flag from him. That would just be assault and theft. So if you're going to charge Nick Sortor for something, Nick Sortor actually committed a crime if he took this flag that belonged to somebody else away.
We've, of course, reached out to Nick Sortor to get more comment and see if he'll talk to us, but do want to pop up this other video that has come in from outside of that ICE facility, and you can see things getting violent out there as Sortor was simply covering all of this that had unfolded. The escalation of federal law enforcement in Portland, which has a population of about 636,000. It's Oregon's largest city, and it follows similar crackdowns to combat crime in other cities like Chicago, Baltimore, and...
That's not true. He wasn't simply covering what unfolded if he was stealing American flags out of the hands of other Americans.
Memphis. President Trump deploying the National Guard to L.A. over the summer as part of his law enforcement takeover in D.C. Want to send it over to our Fox Portland team as they break down more on all of the protests.
Things near the ICE facility can change in an instant. With some of the worst moments, according to some demonstrators, happening at night. One moment from Thursday night caught on camera. Leilani Payne says she was the one pepper sprayed in the video by ICE agents.
They asked me to step back, and I believe there was other protesters behind me, so I raised my hands in the air, and I said, I'm standing exactly where you told me to, and they maced me in the face for 3 seconds straight, without warning. I had no idea he even had a canister.
Payne says after that, she was in immense pain.
It was not emotion. It was pure pain and distress. No, I don't think there was any emotion in that. It was just, I needed help, and I was getting very lightheaded, and I was very, very scared.
Friday, we watched an arrest take place, and while held down by agents, the individual was continually pepper sprayed. Bennett Hazelton, who recorded...
They're normalizing this, guys. They're normalizing federal troops on American soil terrorizing other people in the streets.
The video of what happened to Payne on Thursday. Says this is why he drove down from Seattle to show what is really happening to demonstrators.
Everybody watching was...
Says this is why he drove down from Seattle to show what is really happening to demonstrators.
Everybody watching was so...
This is why he drove down from Seattle to show what is really happening.
What the heck? That is clearly a crime committed against this woman who didn't put her hands on anybody.
To demonstrators.
Everybody watching was so surprised that this did happen. That's the reason we're all recording all the time, because you never know when somebody is going to do something insane like that.
However, some on the other side of this issue say left-wing protesters, not federal agents, are the problem.
They will attack you, and I've been physically attacked multiple times.
Independent journalist C.K. Buffarage says she was recently attacked by a demonstrator.
I was live streaming over right off of federal property, and a man who was standing over here ran at me, ran right up to me while I was on the live and grabbed, have your mic, grabbed my phone and my arm. As I broke free, he covered me in bear spray.
She says the worst time near the facility is from 10:30 p.m. to around 2 a.m. And she was able to see for herself Thursday night from the roof of the ICE facility.
I'm seeing fights. I'm seeing them going after the officers physically. I've seen them throw things at the officers.
But Hazelton, who is also there recording, says the opposite.
As often as not, it is the ICE agents ratcheting things up, starting with the violence, and it's the protesters often showing insane levels of restraint and in the face of being attacked by the agents.
Is this really what we want in America? Let's end this with this last video from Alex Jones,
where they have the new liberal police, the social worker police, and a reporter sitting there talking to him about it. And I didn't even show it yesterday. It's so weird. The police officer has an erection and is sitting there petting his penis on TV while they're talking to the reporters. And they go, "We're community police. We stand with the communists." And the guy's sitting there looking at the male reporter with an erection bulging out of his pants, petting it. I mean, these are lunatics, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute lunatics. So when a city goes lawless, it's up to the state to come in and take it over. And when whole states go lawless, it's for the feds to do it. Man.
No, it's not up to the government to protect you. It's up to you to protect yourself. But what does the federal government do? What does the state government do? What does the local government do? They enact laws that restrict your right to keep and bear arms, which is not supposed to be infringed.
Where's Abraham Lincoln when you need him? So
where's the biggest tyrant in U.S. history when you need him is what Alex Jones is saying. Now, the guy that Alex Jones is talking about doing that thing that should never be done in public, I'm talking about this guy right here in the forefront with the beard.
Trump is Abraham Lincoln. Trump can decide to be Abraham Lincoln and save the country and himself, or he can decide to not take the right action and ensure our total destruction. So, yeah, it starts here in a minute. We'll just skip ahead. And it goes on for a long time.
There he goes.
You see him get an erection. I'm
there
sorry,
he goes.
Folks. I just say this stuff doesn't sound real. And then he starts getting an erection. This goes on for a long time while the interview's going on. So, and they're talking about how they're liberals and how this is the model of social worker police and how they stand with the people and blah, blah, blah. And these are the folks that are arresting Nick Sortor when he gets attacked. Oh, the precious Antifa has attacked you. And 3 people gang up on you and beat you up. Here, let's arrest you while we masturbate. It goes on and on. It gets worse. He gets a big bulge in his pants. I mean, we're going to stop there, though. It gets really bad. And he's sitting there literally looking at the guy, obviously very aroused by the reporter. I mean, and I'm just showing it to be gratuitous. I show it so you understand when I say this stuff, it doesn't sound real. They're now arresting people in the UK that drink more than one soft drink in public, or they're calling them into the jail, and they face scan and know who they are with all the cameras, and then they get a summons saying, "Come to the police station. We saw you drink 2 Cokes." There's no law you can't drink a Coke, but they're just getting you used to absurdity. That's what tyranny is. Stand on your head, jump. When I say jump, jump how high? It's literal. 2 men can have a baby.
Here's where Alex Jones and the other pundits go wrong. Tyranny is not the only absurdity. Politics is an absurdity. And if you can get people to believe absurdities, you can get them to commit atrocities. When you tell people, hey, I want you to join Team Red or Team Blue, I want you to vote for my political parasite who will rob and rule you less. He will lighten your chains. That's an absurdity. Slaves going to the slave suggestion box so that they can stay on the plantation, stay in their cage, let their masters allow them to just decorate their cage, but not allow them to leave. That's an absurdity. And that's what Alex Jones pushes. That's what CNN pushes, MSNBC, Fox News. Those who can get you to believe absurdities can cause you to commit atrocities. That's why truth is so important. You want to hold fast to it. You want to be jealous. You want to suspect anybody who might steal it.
X and Y chromosomes don't exist. Communism works great. 2 + 2 = 5.
But Alex Jones wants you to believe his absurdity that you need to support President Donald Trump. And then the Democrats want you to believe their absurdity. We want you to promote our guy, Joe Biden or Barack Obama or Kamala Harris.
It's all about getting you to accept absurdity. So when I say you got police...
It is all about getting you to accept absurdities, because that's what Alex Jones' whole shtick is. You need to believe my absurdity. Vote for my guy.
He's jacking off on TV in Portland. There it is. I'll show you the news. I'll show you the articles. When I saw the report, I didn't believe it. They went and found the local news. They're like, well, of course we send you go to the police station if you're seen drinking 2 Coca-Colas.
This is so ridiculous.
Oh, but you can stab people and kill them all day long if you want. Yeah, this is Smoley doing it too. These people are, just get him off the screen. Stop now, guys. Come on. Come on. I mean,
this is the king of the promotion of absurdity. Yes, he does sprinkle truth sometimes. He brings stories that you won't see on mainstream news. But this guy is just another promoter of the absurdities we need to decouple from. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you want to support this channel, you can do it for free. Just like this video, share this video. People have been telling me that the t-shirt and design link has been broken for a long time. It's fixed now, so if you want to grab a shirt and support the channel, I appreciate it. But your donations are not anticipated, although they are always appreciated. Hit the bell notification icon for future videos, and I will see you in the next one.